to chat with you a little bit about today is why now is the time to triple down on your marketing. We were in these discussions, we were talking about what it was like back in 2008, 9, 10, 11, and to watch how many people stopped marketing. Do y'all remember that? Like all of a sudden, there was no marketing, period, end of story. It was like batten down the hatches, don't spend any money. And for different reasons, we're actually seeing something really similar today. Listings are selling so fast. And it's so easy that people literally have stopped marketing. And I would say this, right? Back in 2010 was the time to start marketing more, like contrarian. That was an opportunity for you to differentiate yourselves, because remember, the people in your community, the people in your businesses, they're going to remember you tomorrow for what you did or didn't do today. And right now, when we talk about marketing for listings, it's selling a property fast is not the only thing. It's almost duh, right? Like it's almost a foregone conclusion. If that was all there was to it, then anybody could do it, right? The reason a seller hires a professional is because they expect that not only are you going to sell it fast, but you're also going to sell it for the most amount of money. And by doing the marketing necessary, you're going to get more eyeballs and drive the price up. That's number one. Number two, for you, you got to get more listings. And what we know is that fewer and fewer and fewer agents are doing more and more and more business. And you've got to look at those and go, why is the separation? Which group do I want to be in? Do I want to be in the group that's doing all the business, or do I want to be in the bigger group that's doing less business? And why is this small group doing so much business? Well, their focus is on listings and they're doing more marketing, not less. So I wrote down some ideas just to help you all through, like what might that process look like. As you know, I always talk about these processes. You got to have a framework, got to have steps, you got whatever you want to call it, right? Call it the way for all I care, right? But if you're going to create the way, you want it to check all of the boxes. And so during some of the conversations with the Twin Falls agents, who they were absolutely wonderful, and it was great to actually see people face to face. So I'm going to go through some of these, but this is sort of a process for making sure that you're getting the most out of the listings that you have, marketing them correctly so that you get more buyer eyeballs, generate more buyer leads, and get opportunities to get more listings. That's the idea. All right, so I've already go through a listing process that would look a little bit something like this. Number one, messaging. The messaging has got to change. This is one of the things we talked about yesterday was, you know, we get stuck, especially when the market is really frothy like this, right? Everybody's talking about appreciation rates and you know, interest rates, and it's all dollars, it's all commas, it's all zeros. Folks, when someone buys a home, they're buying a home. When I think of the home that we live in right now, what I think of is I have this very vivid picture in my mind. Cash is in the kitchen. He's got his head buried in the trash can. His face comes up and he's got whipped cream all over his face because one of his brothers has thrown a milkshake into the garbage can and he went in after it, right? Our little dumpster diver. They're memories, folks. These are the places that we raise our families. There's emotion attached to it. It is not just dollars and cents. So we've got to make sure that our stories work. We're telling the right story about that. That will make a difference, especially we talked about this yesterday with Payson about how crafting the right story with the offer will really make a difference. The second one on my list is when communicating with the sellers and prospects, they expect that you have the knowledge. It's not enough for you to say, "Oh, I know how much your property is worth," right? Like, duh, well, of course you do. Last I checked, the consumer actually thinks Zillow knows, which is scary, I know, but nonetheless, they expect that you know the value of the home. And frankly, the consumer thinks that they are so educated that they know the value of their home. That's not enough. You need to share with them what they get by working with you, right? What access to marketing, to lead gen, to exposure, to all of these things do they get as a result of working with you as a professional? That's the step two. And step three then really is, why should they care? And do you have the ability to tell that story? And it should be part of all of your marketing message that, yes, of course, we can sell your home, but we're going to sell your home for more money, and that's going to help you pay for blah, 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 blah. And the reason we're going to be able to do that is because of these things. Very, very critical. And that's why fewer are selling more. Wants and needs. You have, each and every one of you has a wants and needs page in your office. The minute you think, the minute you think you're going to have a listing, you should be on wants and needs saying, hey, listen, I have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 3,000 square feet. Don't know yet what the price is going to be. I think it's going to be coming on the market in the next couple of weeks. Do you have anybody? You should be doing this for your fellow agents, but you should also be crafting this and weaving it into your listing pitch, right? That, hey, listen, my organization, we work really, really, really closely together, and I can expose your property to my agents that, in my local market. You also have exclusive look. I heard Michelle talking to one of the agents yesterday about this. Exclusive look is part of your Coldwell Banker platform, gives you the ability to push out a listing before it comes on the market. And again, we're following all the National Association of Realtors rules and regulations, because this is within our brand. You get to say, hey, I have this property. Folks, 93,000 agents get that. 93,000 agents will see that. And that's leveraging the brand. And we all know, especially in the markets that we serve, people are coming from outside the market quite a bit these days. I don't need to beat the drum of marketing packages, right? But marketing packages, I mean, I just like the fact that you can just simply say, hey, listen, I'm going to do these things. And we all know that these marketing packages not only help sell properties faster and for more money, but we also know that they generate additional leads for you to get more listing. We did talk a little bit about messaging and how maybe changing the message, especially if you know that this property is going to sell very, very quickly, which is many of them these days, right? Getting multiple offers. Get prepared, and instead of maybe tap the brakes just a little bit and say, hey, listen, marketing, what I'd like to do is let's just wait a week, okay? And then let's send out a mailer that says, hey, I got 14 offers, 13 buyers missed out on this property. Right? That's a new, updated, more relevant message. Knocking on doors in advance of the property going on the market would be another part of the way. Just simply saying, hey, listen, I have this property that's coming up. I can't tell you all the information, but if you'd like to be the very, very first person to see what's happening with this property, let me get your email address and I'll go ahead and get that all set up, right? So building the list, as Sharon says, building the list so that you can serve the list, building your VIP list. And Paula Bell and I were talking about that. And this is a really, really simple way for you to develop this, especially in a market like this. If you are in a neighborhood and I want to know what the value of my property is, I have the ability to create an auto search for them so that every time a property comes on the market or sells on that street, they get notified. I also have the ability, obviously, within your CBIQ to do the same thing on the buyer side. So make sure that you're leveraging that. Post it on social. We did a little exercise yesterday with I think it was one of Gary's, or maybe it was Linda's listing, where on Friday they have something that's coming on. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 3,000 square feet. And we said, hey, put it on social media saying, I have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 3,000 square foot home coming on the market in this neighborhood. DM me, comment here if you'd like to be the first person to find out what this property is. What's great about that is people will tag other people in that, and you can, again, continue to build that list. Key point, you're taking the information and putting it in your CRM. Don't just leave it in social media, but another great strategy. Developing a strategy behind when the property goes live. Gary shared with us that he has developed a strategy that says, hey, listen, there's a time when we're going to market, or there's a time when we're going to go live. There's a number of days that we're going to hold the property open, and there's a time when we're going to actually accept and review offers. The idea is that he's controlling the experience for the seller. He's providing great clarity to buyers and buyers agents, frankly. And we all need to work really, really well together today, right? Because tomorrow will be a different kind of market. And then he gives his listing the greatest chance of selling for top dollar, not just fast, right? Fast is easy today, getting it for top dollar. So Gary Shook shared that. That was awesome. The email marketing, that becomes part of your way, right? You got to level it up. I've got something coming. I've got something that's here. I'm doing an open house. Yikes, 13 people missed out. Like, we need more listings. Do you know anybody? Here's what's happening, why it's happening. You've got to change that up. You've got sort of your campaigns, which are your market reports and your newsletters and those kinds of things, which are great. Those are the set it and forget it. But remember, folks, just like we're talking about with making phone calls and connecting with your sphere of influence, where it used to be okay to do it like once every 90 days. And what we're hearing right now is we need to do it once every 30 days. It's okay to send emails once a week, even twice a week, to the past clients and sphere of influence. The market is just moving so fast, you almost need to, and it's almost expected. And then, I'm sorry to say it, but knocking on doors, circle dialing, utilizing social media the way it's supposed to be. Not one, but all three, right? And again, we were talking with Payson just about the focus on trying to make sure that we all recognize that the saying's been around for a long time. It's there for a reason, and that is, in order to last in this business, you got to list. You got to list to last. And the way to do that is we've got to knock on doors. We've got to have really relevant conversations. Michael Sheargold talks about care calls. He talks about value calls, and he talks about discovery calls. I think we're all really, really good at using the care call. T, how are you? How's your mom? What's going on? How are the cats? We get a little more uneasy when we start talking about value calls, which is, hey, T, I saw this house go on the market down the street from you. I don't know if you know, but that's going to impact your price. Or, hey, here's what's going on here. We get really, really, really uncomfortable for some reason when it's time to call and say, hey, T, I know you know what's going on with the market. It's completely off the rails. I have to ask, have you had any thoughts of selling your home and taking some equity out of the market? We've got to get focused on those things. So I know that it feels crazy. I get it. But the truth of the matter is there are a smaller and smaller group of agents that are doing more and more and more business, which means the reverse is also true. There's a bigger and bigger group doing less and less and less. And if you are feeling the challenge, this is a great way for you to level up your lead gen specifically for listings and drive business. So you get to choose which group you're going to be in. Hope that helps. Again, be distinctive. Talk to you guys later.